Okay, we are officially recording. Welcome to the Training Tuesday with the Sunflower Crew. Today is the 11th. Okay, today is May 11th, and our topic for tonight is going to do home parties. So I know a lot of people are brand new. Wait, I'm sorry, I'm seeing the comments. Okay. Oh, okay. Candace is watching through her laptop. Okay, so a lot of people are brand new to the team. Our team has exploded in the past year, and we know that some things are starting to open up. So everybody's been doing hasn't been doing home parties. They've been doing online things and, virtual. So now people are starting to venture out and do some home parties. And we thought probably there's a lot of you that don't know how to do that. So we thought that might be a good idea to address that tonight. And we are going to do a mock home party. Now, this is my version of a home party. There's lots of different ways you can do it. I have kind of a little bit of all the products, but you do not need to have this. Literally what you need to do a home party is you need to have your testers, some catalogs, and whatever comes in your kit. Even if what comes in your kit is the $20 warmer. Your goal at a party is for everybody to have fun, for you to talk to them about the products. You don't have to have the products in front of you. What you do have in front of you, it's nice to show them, but you don't have to have everything that I have. I just kind of did a little sample of everything so you can sort of get an idea of what a display table might look like. When I get to a party, I always arrive, a half hour, 45 minutes before the party's supposed to start. I introduce myself to the hostess. We do a little chit chat and find out where she wants me to set up. When you go to the party, make sure that you have what you need. Always bring your own table unless you've specifically spoken to the hostess and she tells you that she's got a table. I always bring something that's lightweight and easy to carry, and you want it to be stuff that you can bring in. Do not make more than 1-2 trips out to your car at the maximum. If you're lugging stuff back and forth, nobody wants to do what you're doing. They're like, there's no way I'm doing this. You think like the Color Street lady. The Color Street lady, she comes and she's got that little bag because all she's got are those little nail things in there. And it looks so easy to everybody. So you want to make this look easy. Don't be lugging stuff back and forth. Bring yourself a nice lightweight table that you can fold up. Bring yourself a nice tablecloth. You can see I have our little logo tablecloth here. You don't have to have a logo tablecloth. Bring yourself a nice black tablecloth. And I always recommend that you have something that goes to the floor. So when you're unboxing your things, you put all your junk underneath the table and it looks nice and neat and tidy. You want people to come in, have the presentation really nice when they're looking at it. Everybody that comes in the door, you want to greet them when they come in the door. As they come in the door, you say, "Hi, I'm Peg from Scentsy. How are you? Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming. Appreciate you being here." Show everybody a seat. So I always start my parties with, I do party games. So I love to do games. People get excited. Some people are more into it than other people are, but it generally just kind of lightens the load a little bit. So one of my favorite games to do is the bead game. So as people are coming into the party, I give everybody a set of beads. So these are little beads you can buy at the dollar store. You can usually get them 10 for $1. They're just in one of our little old containers. So I have all different kinds of colors, and I'll usually grab a whole bunch of them and I'll hang them on my arm. Or if they have a kid that's there and one of their kids that's there, I always involve the kids. Get the kids, let the kids touch the buddies, let them sniff the buddies. I always bring things that are not brand new. They're things that I carry to parties so that if they get messed up, it's okay. Don't get stressed out about it. You get them free and half price. So just get another one. That's all. I've walked out of parties where a kid gets super attached to my buddy. Guess what? You get to keep the buddy. There you go. I'm that kind of consultant, So I get the kids involved. I get the beads and I stick them all up on their arm, and everybody gets a set of beads when they come in. And I tell everybody, wear these set of beads and we'll explain the game later. So that's how I start. Everybody gets to sit down in their chair. Once everybody gets a drink, gets settled, let them mingle for a little bit, but don't let it linger too long. If the party starts at 8 o'clock, by 8:30, you want to be sitting down and you want to be starting your party. Try and keep your parties to half hour, 45 minutes. So, keep it brief. You just want to give them the basics of what the company is about, have everybody have some fun, and then take orders. If you have the opportunity to bring somebody with you, I have my evil assistant here, Caitlin, right? Evil assistant. So my evil assistant goes with me. And while I'm taking orders, she's occupying people, talking to people, answering questions, and packing up my boxes. So I'm in and I'm out. Okay. So anybody have any questions so far?
what do you do with the beads?
What do I do with the beads? Okay, so as we start to do the party, I will tell you what we do with the beads. So there's a couple of different ways that you can do the beads. My favorite way, so is anybody going to a baby shower where they wear the beads, and if you say baby or anything baby related, they can steal your beads?
No.
Okay, so it's sort of similar to that. I do sniff or smell, but I don't tell them that until after we're done the party. So when they start with the testers and everybody's sniffing and smelling the testers, that's when I tell them right before, after I'm done doing my demonstration, I tell them about that. And I say, now the beads that you're wearing, while you're sniffing the testers, you can come up with any word that you want. You could say, take a whiff. I give them some suggestions on different things to say, but you're not allowed to say smell or sniff. And if somebody hears them say smell or sniff, they could steal all their beads. But if they hear somebody else say it, they could steal beads back. Now, throughout the party, I give them opportunities to earn extra beads. So they'll earn extra beads by asking me about my job. So when I start talking, I'll introduce myself. And you know what? Let's just go right into a party, okay? I'm going to move the table back a little bit, and I'm just going to kind of go through, and you could stop me and ask me questions in between, but I'll kind of run through. I won't do all the details. Before we do that, I'm going to take my computer over, and I want to show you what's on my table. So, all right, so here I have a diffuser on the table. That's always a nice eye catcher. I have one warmer. Now, the warmer that I have is the Himalayan salt lamp warmer. Let me tell you, I never bring that with me. The reason I have that on the table is because it was sitting in my living room. That thing weighs a ton. Don't bring the heaviest warmer you've got. Bring something that's light, easy to carry, and one of the simple ones. Not one that's got 10 parts to it. You have to put it together and make it look complicated. Bring the etched core warmer or the curves warmer, something that's going to be easy for you to set up and break down. Always put wax in it. And the reason you always want to put wax in it is because as the party goes on, I let everybody dip their fingers in the wax. Shows how it gels up on their finger. Okay, so back here, I have, now these little stands are available in the store, but you can use the boxes from the warmers. You can use the boxes and pile them up, put a little tablecloth or like a little napkin over top of it to make it look presentable. I got a mini warmer so I could tell them, here's all my pod stuff over there. I have a brick, and the reason I have a brick is because I talk about the club. I have kids' products here. This is the one that I pass around so that everybody can touch and smell. It's an older one. This is a new one. I leave in the container to show them how it's in the container. Here's some of the cleaning products. So I have a dish soap. I have a counter clean. I have a Scentsy Fresh laundry products. Here's my body products over here. So I have the Scentsy soap. Down here I have the scrub. I have men's. So I can talk about how we have men's products. And then over here, the lotions and all. Here's a little container with pens. Make sure you bring some pens. And here's some of our to-go stuff. Okay. Anybody have any questions before I move?
Peg.
Yes.
So one thing I do when I do my party is on the cleaning supplies, because they're kind of heavy, I bring empty bottles. Because then they're easier to they're easier to carry in. You can just throw them in the bag and you don't have to worry about them cracking and breaking and leaking or whatever. So I always keep one of my older ones that I've used and put it in there.
Okay, I usually do bring mine that are half full. It's so funny because when I go and do parties, I literally take them all off my sink and take them with me, because I also ask the hostess when the hostess is cleaning up, as I'm packing my things away, and I go, oh, here, try this on your counter.
Okay.
So I'll do that so that it gives them the opportunity to try it. And, anybody who asks me questions, I go, oh, here, take it in the kitchen. Go ahead, spray her counter. She'll be thrilled to death if you clean her counter. Try the dishes. Go wash some dishes for her,
I just got tired of carrying my bags in that were so heavy that I thought, okay, I'm just going to take empty stuff. Like the washer whiffs, I take empty ones, but I throw a sample of it in there so they can see what it looks like.
Now, I will often bring, my washer whiffs are also halfway full, and sometimes I'll bring organza bags with me, and I'll give them samples of it to go home and tell them to stick it in their husband's stinky shoes. And I'll be, the party's open for a couple days. Trust me, take this home and stick it in your husband's shoes. You'll be ordering some, so I mean, that's another way too. And I try and do those things as like giveaways, like, have you ever been to a home demonstration where you walk away and they're like giving you stuff? Like I went to a Tupperware one and everybody went home with a peeler and you're like, oh, like you could buy this in the catalog, but she's just like giving them away. Like, oh, this is great. You know, she must be really successful. So think of it in that realm too. You know, that you must be successful if you're just giving stuff away. So I always try to like give people samples, and it's Katie saying, when I do games and prizes, so I give away scent circles.
They're only $3.
They're only $3. And you know, if you're using your Hostess credits the right way, they're free. So, okay. All right. So I'm just going to move on, and I'm moving this back a little. So excuse me if you're getting a nice little look at my cleavage there. Okay. When I do my books, this is what I do with my books. Now this actually, I haven't even put the spring books in here, but I bought these at Walmart, you know, when the kids are, you know, back to school stuff, and I have little clear, and I put my entire catalog. I use the brochures. So I use the product brochures. I start out with my starter kit, and this is how I do my party. I start out talking about me, talking about joining. I go on to join my team. Here at this point, this was the cause warmer. This is all about the Scentsy Club, the whiff box, the bundle and save. Say, here's all the pod stuff. This is my diffusers. Here's the buddies. There's more buddy stuff. There's clean stuff. And then here's the actual brochure. So in the back is the actual brochure. So it gives them all the descriptions. I always tell everybody all the descriptions of all the scents are here. You don't have to do it this way. You can hand them the catalogs. And then I always talk about the bundle and save option. So the bundle and save options are in the back there. So when I give this to everybody, everybody also gets a love it, like it list. So the love it, like it list is in the pocket in the front with an order form, and they get a pen. Okay, so as we sit down and we get started, once I get everybody in the room, I say, okay, welcome everybody. Thanks for coming to Caitlin's party, because Caitlin's my only guest here. So thank you for coming to Caitlin's party. I'd like to introduce myself. My name's Peg Wilson. I've been with Scentsy since 2015. I actually joined Scentsy at the insistence of my cousin. She had been asking me for a couple of years, and I kept saying, no, I don't have enough time. But then she told me that there was an incentive trip to Disney, and me and my family, we're Disney nuts. So I thought, okay, all right, you're telling me I can earn a trip to Disney? What do I have to do? And she said, you have to sign up and you have to sell. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. So I did. I signed up and I sold. Never expected. I went home. My husband was not supportive of it. And he was like, what are you talking about? How much is this going to cost us? You know, and well, it wound up that I did earn the trip to Disney, and I had no intention of continuing on to do this any longer than that. I was just going to quit. Well, here I am almost 6 years later, and I'm still doing it, and I'm still loving it. And I'll tell you a little bit about why I love it. This company has been around. Heidi and Orville are the owners of our company. This company's been around since 2004. It is based here in the United States in Meridian, Idaho. That's where we manufacture all our cleaning products, all of our body line, our wax. Our warmers are manufactured by artisans all over the world. They are made with really high quality. I've been to our home office, and you could eat off the floor. I can't believe that this place is so clean. I want to use all the cleaning products and have somebody come and clean my house with all this stuff. It's really amazing. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the starter kit because it's my obligation. So my obligation as being a Scentsy consultant is to share this opportunity with you. So it doesn't matter whether you think that you're interested or not. Right now, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about our starter kit. So this month, the month of May, we have 3 opportunities to join. We have the $20 kit. We have the Hostess Join Special, which I'll talk a little bit about later. And then we have the $99 kit, which is our full kit and kind of gives you a little bit of everything. So we'll talk about the different opportunities to join if you think that it's something that you're interested in. I won't beat you down and tell you a whole lot of information about the Join kit, but if you think that what I'm doing here is something that you can do, you think it's fun, maybe you want to try and earn a trip to Disney, you like your Scentsy and you want to get it at a discount, then we'll talk when we're placing your order, and I'll give you some more information on it. So there's a couple of different items that I want to talk about as we get started. Scentsy is very much into giving back. So we always have a cause item in our catalog. Every season there's a cause item. So this time the cause item. So at this particular time it was the Make-A-Wish. So it was the Tinkerbell warmer, and a portion of the proceeds go towards the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So I talk a little bit more about that. I'm not going to run you guys through the whole party. Talk a little bit more about that. And then I talk about the Hostess Rewards. So Caitlin was kind enough to invite me here and allow me to introduce all of you to these products and to me. And for her doing that, she is going to earn some Hostess rewards. So if you look in your catalog, you will see the Hostess rewards. It's very easy to earn rewards. Most of my parties are $500. So for a $500 party, you're going to get $75 free and you're going to get 3 half price items. So it's a pretty good deal. So if you all place your orders, she will get some really good stuff. But if you want to get some half price stuff, you can book a party tonight and you'll get some free and half price stuff too. And guess what? She'll get another half price item at your party. So it's a pretty good deal. Our Hostess rewards are pretty generous. Okay, and then I'll usually go into some of the stuff that's on the table. I'll usually start by just talking about one thing. Like I'll start out by talking about our warmers and talk about our wax and tell them how our wax is paraffin based. It's infused with essential oils. I talk about the top notes, the mid notes, and then I tell them how you can stick your finger right in it. I will go over and I will stick my finger in the wax and I go, look at this, it gels right up. And I'll show everybody my finger and I go, you want to try it? And I'll lift it right off and I'll say, look at this. This has been sitting on here for hours. Look at this. It's not hot. It's not burning me. Stick your finger in there. And I'll walk around the room and have everybody stick their finger in it. Somebody say something?
No, I said I'm gonna stick my finger.
Oh, Katie said she wants to stick her finger in it. So, okay. So I'll start with that and tell them the one thing. And I go, you know what? Let's have some fun. Let's play a game. So this one is one of my favorite games. I'm going to sit down because I know you're only seeing my head's getting cut off. So this is my favorite game that I'll play. And this is the story of Scentsy. So if you don't know the story of Scentsy, this is available in your workstation. And what I do is every time I say the word Scentsy, they have to pass something around. So since I just talked about the bar, I usually take whatever the scent of the month is. And I start with the hostess or the person who's closest to me and have them pass it. And every time, and I make sure that everybody's in an area so that they can pass it. If there's kids there and there's a gap, I'll put the kids in between and I say, it's your job to pass it over to the next person. Or I have Katie. Katie's my runner. So, you know, if there's a gap, she's the one that gets to pass it over to the next person. So I'm just going to read this since we have so many people that are new, I'm going to read this because you may not have ever heard the story. So here's the Scentsy story. Scentsy was started in Centerville, Utah in July of 2003 by Colette Gunnell and Kara Egan. Colette and Kara were both stay-at-home moms looking for a safe alternative to candles. Orville Thompson encountered the small company at a home show in early 2004 and brought some samples home. Orville and his wife Heidi were intrigued by the powerful emotion and memories the fragrance brought to the surface, without the damages of burning candles. Heidi and Orville purchased Scentsy and relocated to Meridian, Idaho, where it continues to grow very rapidly. Scentsy experienced a 400% increase in the first 3 years of operation. In 2010, and usually like while they're passing it, somebody will forget and they'll be like, she said Scentsy, you know, for them to pass it because everybody wants a win. And whoever's got it at the end wins. Okay, in 2010, Scentsy was named the #1 consumer products company on the Inc. 500 list, and the number of current Scentsy consultants hit the 100,000 mark. Scentsy consultants share the Scentsy experience throughout the United States, Puerto Rico, Guam, Canada, and in 2011, Scentsy expanded to Europe. Authentic Scentsy bars contain highly scented wax made especially for authentic Scentsy warmers. They are leadless, wickless, flameless, and smokeless. Authentic Scentsy warmers are electric, and wax is heated with a low wattage light bulb. An on-off switch is conveniently located on the cord. Scentsy warmers also make excellent night lights. You can order Scentsy warmers and highly scented wax bars at a Scentsy party. Better yet, when you schedule a Scentsy party in your home or take a Scentsy basket party to work, you can earn free Scentsy products and other generous Hostess rewards. If you're interested in unlimited income potential, you like people, you love Scentsy, I'd be happy to talk to you after the party about becoming a Scentsy consultant. Now enjoy this sensational Scentsy party and other Scentsy guests, your sensational, charming Scentsy host, and most important, your authentic Scentsy warmers and wide variety of Scentsy fragrances and other products. And then I go, okay, who's got the bar? And that person wins the bar. So I say, now you get to keep the bar. Now, do you have a warmer to warm that bar in? And then I'll say, okay, you want to pay special attention and we'll talk about how to get you a warmer. Okay, so I'll go from there and then I start talking about the diffusers. And I really literally use my catalog. So if you're not using your own, you know, if you don't make up your own catalogs, just use the brochure. It's okay to stand there and hold the brochure. And as you're looking at the brochure, it will direct you what to talk about next. So the first thing here is you're talking about the diffusers. So you talk about the diffusers, talk about the differences with some of our warmers. I talk about how some of our warmers are element warmers. Some of our warmers use a light bulb, and I explain the difference between how the wax warms. I also explain the difference between what's different between our wax and other wax. You can use soy wax and stuff like that, and I'm sure lots of you have used that. But if you put those in our warmer, they're not formulated to warm at a really low temperature. So you may not get the same quality of smell. It might not melt at all. And if you put our wax in other warmers, it may burn it. So you also may not get the proper smell. So I always suggest that you use our warmers and wax together. So I let people know right up front. I'm like, I've tried all the other ones, and I promise you ours last a lot longer. You know, you can buy your wax from Walmart, and everybody will say, I can get it for $2 from Walmart. You buy it for $2 and you're going to get $2 worth of smell. Somebody else is coming in. Hold on. Okay. So then I'll do the same thing. I'll walk through, and then I talk about the mini warmers. So I'll explain the mini warmers, how the mini warmer works. I always talk about how our plug twist. And that's because on the East Coast, we have lots of old Philly row homes that the contractors put the plug sideways. So that's a real selling point on the East Coast for those who are from here. That's a real selling point that our warmers twist. Then I will introduce them to, again, you go to your brochure. The next thing on the top is all about the one thing that I did not put out as a fragrance flower, but I usually do bring a fragrance flower. So then I will talk about the pods, and I'm going to back up again. So I'm going to back up and I'm going to say, so are you the kind of person that really doesn't like to change wax? There are some people who just don't like the mess of wax. You might have young children, you might have pets, and you're concerned about, sorry, I could see this is cutting my head off. Okay, there we go. You may be concerned about having wax and having the mess, or you're just somebody who doesn't like the mess. Well, we have an answer for you. This is one of our newer fragrance delivery systems, and this is called a wall fan diffuser. So there's a couple of different ways that these work. What's nice about these is it just comes off, it's plastic. So if you have a plug that is down low on the ground, you're worried about your cat's tail getting in the wax, this is the answer to your problems. You have your kids, you're worried about your kids touching it, very easy. It takes fragrance pods, and inside here it has a fan. And I'll get it and I'll show it around the room so everybody can see. And I say one of these pods, you just drop one of these pods in here, you put the lid back on, plug it in. This particular one does not light. It just has a little indicator light right here, but we do have versions that actually have a night light that comes out the bottom if you're looking for something to light the area. So I'm just going to pass this around and let everybody take a look at it, and everybody get an opportunity to hold it. The pods, we actually have two other fragrance delivery systems that also take the pod. We have the Scentsy Go, and the Scentsy Go comes in a rose gold or a silver trim here, and this lights up, and then I'll demonstrate it and I'll light it all up, and I'll do the same thing and I'll pass this around. I always put a really nice fragrance in there, so as soon as I pass it around, I turn the light and I turn the fan on, so it's blowing right in their face as they're passing it around. And I say, now remember, if it seems a little strong to you, this is going to be in an area where it's going to fill the area. You can use this in a car, it fits in your cup holder. If you don't want the one that lights, we actually have one that's all white that doesn't light, and they do the same thing. They take the fragrance pods. You can use one or two, but you don't have to use two. It's going to give you the same fragrance, so why waste them? Have them for longer. They last about 120 hours, which is about the same as our wax bars last. I'll put the lid back on and I'll pass this around. If I can get the lid to go back on. Okay, so there, Caitlin, I'm passing it around to you. Pass it around to all your guests. And then the third option that we have for our fragrance delivery system is called our mini fan. So our mini fan here, you can see it's just a little fan, and it has a little USB here. You plug it in, and this is really great for small spaces. So this is ideal for sitting next to you at your computer, plugging it right in, use the little USB. It's great for plugging into your car, fits perfectly in your cup car holder, and the little pod just sits right on top there. What's nice about the fan diffusers is that it's immediate fragrance delivery. You don't have to wait for the wax to melt. You just plug it in, boom, it starts smelling right away. So I'm going to pass these around, and if you have any more questions about those, I'd be happy to answer them. Okay. Then I'll go on and I'll talk. Yeah. Katie's like, you want these back? So as they pass around, I'll get them back. Then I talk about, I'll go in and talk, so we have people still coming in. So I'll go through and I'll talk about our body line. So, Scentsy's more than wax and warmers and just fragrance for your home. We want your entire world to smell better. So we have a body line, we have body lotion, we have shower gel, And I'll do the same thing where I'll pass these around, and usually I bring ones that are open so that they can smell them. I'll let everybody squirt a little bit of the hand cream on if they want. Of course, this was pre-COVID. Now everybody's all kinds of funky about that, so keep that in mind too. But I tell them if they want to try it, they're more than welcome to try it. I talk about the body line. I talk about the shower gel. And then I always focus, I'll always say something about the men's line, and I say Scentsy's not just for women. Men like things to smell good too. So we do have a man's line. There's a couple of different fragrances, our Bonfire Beach, our My Hero, Mystery Man. I'll mention all the men's fragrances. So if you're looking for something, Father's Day is coming up. This is a great opportunity to pick up something nice for him too. And talk about our hand soaps, how they look really cute in the bathroom. And we have matching lotions in the same kind of jar. But let me tell you about my favorite in the body line. So I am a big proponent of sugar scrubs, and I've tried all kinds of sugar scrubs. Most of them are either too gritty or they're too oily and they leave a mess in my tub, and and then I have to worry about getting in the tub and slipping and breaking my neck. Ours comes in this nice little jar here, and it is a perfect mix of oil and a light sugar scrub. So when you get it, I always recommend that when you open it up, get your finger, twirl it around in there. But this is really nice for those dry legs, for your dry elbows. I use it on my whole body. And then I just get it and I rinse down the shower, but it really doesn't leave any kind of greasy residue or anything in there. I've got my entire family hooked on this, including my husband. This stuff is amazing. So I will open the jar and I'll pass it around so that they can see the consistency. If you'd like to touch some of it and go to the sink and wash your hands in it, feel free. Our Himalayan bath salt. So look at the size of this bag. This is a 2-pound bag. The Himalayan salt is, this is our Scentsy soap that has Himalayan salt and Epsom salt in it. It's great for tired, achy bones. If you're not somebody who is into sitting in the tub, this is great for just a little soak. So put it in your foot bath, stick your feet in there. After a long day at work, this will make your feet feel fantastic, and they'll smell pretty good too. Okay, and then I'll go on from there and talk about the laundry products. Anybody have any questions before I go on? Okay, so I'll go on and I'll talk about the laundry products. I always focus on the Laundry Love Bundle and talk about how it's $50 and it does 50 loads of wash. I have the empty washer whiffs, and I get the washer whiffs and I'll pass them around, and then I tell them about some of the other uses for the washer whiffs. I have had people get them and use them. I sell them a lot to sports families. So if you have kids, especially soccer and baseball players that have cleats, this is phenomenal to take that yucky, stinky kitty litter smell. And it's funny because anytime it's anybody who is a soccer or baseball or a hockey parent, as soon as I say that stinky, nasty kitty litter smell, they're all like, oh yeah, because that's what all the cleats wind up smelling like. It's really gross and nasty. So yeah, no, I'll go, oh, you have that? Wait, let me give you a sample of this. Take it home and put it in your husband's work shoes or cleats. And I do fundraisers for soccer teams, and literally just will sell the washer whiffs. Everybody's like, oh yeah, I have to have that. So it's great to put it in a little bag and throw it in your gym bag. It'll take out the odors of your gym bag. So there's lots of different uses for it. Let's see, what else? Then I'll do this clean line again, talk about the clean line, give them the opportunity. And I'll say, look, anybody wants to give it a try. It smells phenomenal. Pass it around, let everybody give a smell. This is my favorite one. I always bring Sunkissed Citrus. Sunkissed Citrus is my favorite. So I always bring the Sunkissed Citrus. I always bring Jammy Time washer whiffs with me, Jammy Time and if it's a sports team, I tell them to go with Scentsy Clean. So the Scentsy Clean, for some reason, that really does the best job with eliminating odors. So I always do that. And the Scentsy Fresh, I always bring odor out. And then I talk to them about how when you spray the odor out, how it really works well for somebody who's a smoker or somebody who has pets. And it'll take the smell out, or at least mask the smell on your furniture and on your clothing. I actually have a customer who takes the odor out with her, and she puts it in little spray bottles and keeps it in her purse because she thinks her husband doesn't know she smokes. But she sprays herself with the odor out and makes her feel better about it. And it takes away that smoke smell wherever she goes. I'll talk about some of the travel products. So in between doing all these things, I'll go back and do some games. Where did I put my game list? Oh, it's over there. Okay. Forgot to mention this too. When I get there early, I usually have the hostess fill out one of these, the Know Your Hostess. So the Know Your Hostess game is you just want to pick like normal things. So what's your middle name? what's the city you were born in, your favorite color, your lucky number, your eye color, your shoe size, your birthday and month and day, your zodiac sign, your favorite drink, your favorite food, your favorite restaurant, where you work, your favorite candy, your dream destination location, your wedding anniversary month and day, and how many sensory warmers do you own. So I'll have her fill that out before any of the guests get there, and then she'll give it to me. So the guests, you know, they'll get this in their packet, and then I'll say, okay, game time. Now this is going to be all about our hostess, you know, or I'll say all about Caitlin. So this is going to be all about Caitlin. How well do you think you know Caitlin? And I go, wait, where's her mom? Where's her sisters? You know, and I'll usually ask the question. I'll go, all right, now if you fail, you're in big trouble. So then I'll go through and I'll have everybody answer the questions. Huh?
Hasn't there been moms that failed?
Oh, there have been moms that failed miserably. It's really funny. You know, so it usually flubs them up when it talks about like your dream destination or your favorite restaurant, you know, things like that. Moms always get the birth dates and the wedding dates, right? That's about it. You know, the eye color, you know, shoe size gets people lots of times too. So shoe size is always a good one too. But I'll have everybody answer and I go, no, be quiet. Just write your answers down. You know, there's a prize involved, you know, and then I do tiebreakers. We have more fun, whether there's a tiebreaker or not. I'll go through the questions at the end just because they're really fun. So my tiebreakers are circle one, and I have chocolate or vanilla, diamonds or pearls, a night owl or an early bird, summer or winter, cooking in or eating out, books or movies, text or talk, Channing Tatum or Mark Wahlberg, that always gets them, sweet or spicy, Walmart and Target, or glass half empty or glass half full. So I have my hostess select those too. And I use them as my tiebreakers, and usually just get some fun, you know, laughs and giggles, and, you know, lightens the mood a little bit. So I'll work that in between, like as I'm doing things. If I feel like I'm losing them, I throw a game in there. So you know your crowd, and you know, when things start to get boring, try and, you know, it's like throw a joke in there. You know what I mean? So I'll throw a game in there or whatever to keep people interested. Two of the most popular games that I play. So has anybody heard of the right left game? Yeah, okay. So I'll read the right left game real quick now. So imagine this at a party, and I always do this with a scent circle. So they have to pass around the scent circle, and you have to pass it in the direction. Every time I say right, you pass it right. Every time I say left, you pass it left. Hysterical how many people do not know their left from the right, and it moves really fast. So there have been times where literally I've had to turn my back and read it because we're laughing so hard, and I can't concentrate. I'm giggling and laughing so hard. So I've literally, what's that, Becca?
Well, and then you add alcohol on top of that.
Right.
Always a good
So
time.
especially if it's a party where they're drinkers, this is hysterical.
Yeah.
So here's the story. And again, it works in all about booking a Scentsy party, or it works in joining a team. So all of these games are serving a purpose, you know, in addition to that. So it's the right family just finished dinner. I'm going to look for a job, said Mother Wright. There's no money left in the savings account. And with school closing, Christmas right around the corner, I don't know how we'll manage a job, asked Sue Wright. But who will pick me up after school and drive me to soccer and Boy Scouts? Billy Wright asked Mother Wright as he left the kitchen. Mother Wright said to Father Wright, I'll find something part-time. I can work right around the kids' schedule, right around the kids' busy schedule. The telephone rang and Father Wright left to answer it. He rushed back into the kitchen and told Mother Wright that it was Aunt Mary Wright on the phone, wanting to let her know that she just left an interview and was coming right over to tell her about it. Aunt Mary Wright arrived and Mother Wright left the dishes in the sink to join her in the living room. I've just joined Scentsy, said Aunt Mary Wright as she handed Mother Wright the Scentsy catalog. As a Scentsy consultant, I not only book and present at parties, but I also sponsor other consultants to sell our merchandise. You could earn free Scentsy merchandise if you host a party, Aunt Mother Wright said. I'd appreciate it if you'd let me know if anyone who might want to earn a little extra income too. It's fun, flexible job that can be worked right around the busiest schedules, said Aunt Mary Wright as she left to rush home to call a few friends about the opportunity she had to offer. Sue Wright, Billy Wright, and Father Wright were looking at the catalog left by Aunt Mary Wright, and Mother Wright was reading about becoming a consultant. The Wright family was very impressed with the interesting Scentsy opportunity. The entire Wright family went to bed that night thinking about their favorite scents and Aunt Mary Wright. Sue Wright thought about the great hostess rewards she could earn. Father Wright thought about the vacations that they could afford. And Mother Wright thought about the extra income she could earn as a Scentsy consultant. She had left the catalog on the table near the phone so she could call Aunt Mary Wright in the morning with some questions. This is all that's left to our story, except we hope that you do the right thing and book a party or become a consultant. Isn't that right? So then whoever winds up with it, it's a fun story. It's the left and right. Everybody's going crazy back and forth, passing it, but it's still planting the seed. And it's talking about, again, the another opportunity to host a party and to become a consultant. The last one that I do was, let's see. Let me see. No, that's not the one I was doing.
You do one that you have to add numbers.
Yeah, you have to add the numbers. I don't have it flagged. But I usually do one where it's, they go into their handbag and say, if you have this, you get this many points. And if you have blue eyes, you get this many points. And, so there are some catalogs of games that are available out on your workstation. So I do talk about the Scentsy Club. So I always bring a brick with me and I talk to them about the bricks. And I usually hold it up next to a bar and I show them the difference and how big the bricks are. And I usually bring a half-used brick. So if anybody absolutely loves this smell, I have little bags with me and I could chop off a little piece, but I like to bring blueberry cheesecake because blueberry cheesecake always gets them. Everybody loves the smell of blueberry cheesecake. So yeah, I know it's like, and it's so overpowering. Like it's such a strong smell that literally when I'm standing here, people go, oh my God, I could smell it. But I make sure I do things like shake it around and, so that the smell is kind of wafting in their direction, but this gives me the opportunity to talk about the Scentsy Club. So I say, so if you have a product that you really like to get all the time, we have this thing that's called the Scentsy Club. What's really cool about the Scentsy Club are two really big things. First off, you could subscribe and you can choose whether you want to get it monthly, whether you want to get it bi-monthly, or if you want to get it quarterly. So you get to choose the frequency of your products. I always tell everybody to order more and get it less often so that you save on shipping, because you do have to pay shipping with each time you have it shipped. But if you have a particular smell that you love, one of the best parts is if you put it in the Scentsy Club and that scent is discontinued. So I know lots of people love the fall and the pumpkin smells. Well, they go away in the springtime and then they come back out in the fall, but it's not guaranteed, like Barbie Sue's over here going whoop whoop. So it's not guaranteed that those smells are going to come back. So if you're a smart person like Barbie Sue, you will get it and you will put it in your club just in case clove and cinnamon does not come back next fall. And then you will have in your club and Scentsy will make it for you forever. So that's one of the really great parts about the Scentsy Club. Somebody say something? Question? No? Okay. So then I talk about the whiff box and I usually will either bring an empty box with me. I sometimes bring the empty box and I'll store my travel stuff in the empty box so that I don't show them, I unpack everything and I just hold the box and I go, and this is the whiff box. And I'll show them the box and I'll go, it comes in this beautiful box and I could show you what's inside, but then I'd have to kill you because it's a surprise every single month and nobody knows what is in the whiff box until you get it. And I go, it's a secret. They don't tell us in home office. We don't know till we get it and somebody spills the beans. And there are people who absolutely have a fit if somebody spills the beans in what is in the whiff box before they've gotten theirs, because everybody loves a big surprise. So what's cool about the whiff box is just kind of like those subscription programs where you can subscribe to get different makeups and Stitch Fix and the clothes. Well, Scentsy has our own whiff box. So you can subscribe every month and you can get that as a surprise or get it quarterly or bi-monthly, however often you want. You don't have to be in the club to get it. You could just order the whiff box. So if you're somebody who's really not sure what you want, the whiff box is a great alternative to you. It is $30. It's always filled with 5 to 8 full-size products. It's generally worth more than your $30. So generally they're worth somewhere between 34 and, maybe I've seen one that was worth 42. So that you're getting a good value for your money. And not only does it have the full-size products in there, but it usually has a sample of what the scent is for the next month. So you get a jump on that. And then it has other fun stuff in there, samples for you to try. So it's a really nice way to introduce you. And it also makes a really excellent gift idea as well. So if you're interested in the Scentsy Club and you want something that is just easy and you can go in there, you can modify it anytime you want. You can cancel it anytime you want. There's no obligation. The only thing that you have to worry about is if you put a scent in there and it's something that's discontinued, if you take it out of your club, you'll lose it. But as long as you leave it in there, we will make it just for you forever. So that's usually the spiel that I give on the Scentsy Club. And then I tell them how they can get bricks in their club. And that's what's nice about these bricks. It's exclusive to club members. So everybody can't get these bricks, but they're exclusively available to club members in some of our favorite classic scents, and blueberry cheesecake is one of them. So if anybody would like a sample of the blueberry cheesecake, I'd be happy to give that to you. Okay, so that's usually how I address the club. What did I forget, Kate? I'm so out of practice, so out of practice. I talk about the counter cleans. Oh, and then I talk about the buddies. So usually with the buddies, I'll demonstrate the buddies. I'll talk about the buddies. I pass them around. I tell them about the scent packs. I will have an open scent pack and I'll show them how it goes in. And then I have them squish the buddy and smell it so that they can see how that smell really travels. I talk about how we do the licensed items, our license, we have a licensing agreement, and I will talk about all of the places that we have licensing agreements with the NFL, with the NHL, with Disney, with Marvel, you know, and then show them some of those. And I, you know, right now I would be talking about how the Star Wars collection is still available and the R2-D2 warmer and things like that. So with that, I'm going to wrap up the party. I want to thank you all for coming. I hope that you will consider hosting a party. If you've seen more than what you can afford, that is a great way to get everything that you want, is by hosting a party. And again, our hostess, Caitlin, will get credit if you decide to host a party, and she will get a half price item at your party. And tonight I have a special prize for anybody who decides to book a party. I have these little booking bags that are back here, and I usually do bring some kind of bag with some kind of gift in there. So I have these little booking bags that are back there. So not only will you earn Hostess Rewards, if you pick a date tonight and we put it on the book, you get to take home one of these bags with you. Okay. And anyone who thinks that what I did was fun, you want to give it a try. You know I talk a lot. Not everybody has to talk that much, but you know, if it's something that you think you can do, please talk to me afterwards while I'm taking your order. I'd be happy to talk to you about the opportunity, or we can set up some time later on and discuss it. It's actually super easy. It's super fun. It's the best thing that I've ever done for myself and my family. We've gone on some really amazing trips, and you know, I just really enjoy it. So if it's something you think you want to do, definitely talk to me about it. So thank you all for coming. I'll give you some time to look at the books. There's an order form in there. We're going to go back to our bead game. Oh, you know what? I totally forgot. Totally blew that. Sorry, guys. At some point in there, when I'm talking about the opportunity, I will have them ask me questions about my job. So I know we talked about that briefly beforehand, but I'll stand up there and I say, okay, so instead of me standing up here and telling you all about the Scentsy opportunity, how about if you guys ask me some questions? So if you ask me some questions, you're going to earn some beads. So every question that you ask me earns you another set of beads, and you're going to want these extra beads for later on because there is a prize involved. So then I go, okay, ready, go ahead, shoot, ask me a question. So go ahead, somebody go and ask me a question. Crickets? What? Nobody wants to win prizes?
What made you
start with
decide to
commission?
go into Scentsy in the first place?
My cousin tortured me for a couple of years. I was using it. I loved the products. And she kept saying, oh, you should join. You should join. And I had a daughter in cheerleading. I had a daughter in soccer. And I was like, I don't have time for all this. I don't have any time. But then she told me that there was an incentive trip. And I thought, what do I got to lose? So I gave it a try.
Where do you start with commission?
You start out with 20% commission. I always say, oh, and thank you for your question. Here's your bead. And I say, you start out with 20% commission. So that is on anything that you sell, you get 20% commission. And then once you've sold $1,000, we give you a promotion and we call you a certified consultant, because by then you kind of know what you're doing, and you get 25% commission. And in any given month, if you sell $2,000, you get a 5% bonus. So you get 30% commission. And then if you decide to build a team or do anything like that, you start to earn more commission then.
Cool.
How much do you have to sell a month?
So there's really no monthly quota. We like everybody to sell something every month, but there's really not a monthly quota. We ask everybody to have one party a quarter. So a qualifying party is a $200 party. So really you just have to have one party every quarter.
Do you have to do parties?
No, there's lots of different ways you can do this business. I have some people who literally, I have one girl who's on my team who she just loves the laundry products. So guess what? She decided to join my team so she gets paid back on the laundry products. And once every quarter, she orders 4 Laundry Love bundles, and that's a $200 party. And then she gets a half price item and she gets $20 free. So there's lots of different ways that you can do it. You could do parties online. You could do basket parties. You could just hand your friends the testers and let them smell and, or give them the link and let them shop online. It's how you want to do it. I kind of do a little bit of everything. So I do sort of home parties, and I do some vendor events, and then I do basket parties. And then I've built a really nice customer base, and my customers have been really loyal. And I'm very fortunate that I get enough orders just from my regular customers to keep my business going.
Do you ever take a breath when you talk?
Absolutely not. My brother says to me
Sorry,
all
I
the
had to
time,
do it.
there is definitely a motor attached to this. And every once in a while he catches me go, I don't go, breathe, Marge, breathe.
Sorry, Peg, I had to do it.
You know what? That comes up just about every party. They'll be like, oh my God, how do you talk so fast? And then I say, Jeet.
Oh,
Right,
true.
Sarah? So any other questions? Okay, so you all have your beads now. As we're doing the party, like I usually say this, I do it more towards the beginning of the party. So as we're doing the party, if you have more questions, please don't hesitate to ask the questions, because the more questions you ask, the more beads you're going to earn. And then when the party wraps up, I say, okay, so now you're going to get the opportunity. You all have your catalogs. Does everybody have a pen? Everybody has their, and I'll explain what the Love It Like It list is. And I say, in your catalog, in the front of your binder, you all have this Love It Like It list. This is all the fragrances listed in alphabetical order. So as you're smelling them, you can just check off whether you liked it or you didn't like it. That doesn't mean you have to buy everything that's on the list, but this is so that you remember which ones that you really liked. And you can take this home if you'd like, or you can leave it with me and I'll put it in your profile in my workstation. So I'll do that, and I'll literally go and type the ones that they liked and put it in the little note section in my workstation when I'm going through and adding the customer information. So I tell them as they're starting, and I say, now, before we start sniffing, I have these testers here, and I usually break mine up into 3 different bowls. I don't do it by category or anything like that. I just mix them up into 3 different bowls, so everybody's getting an opportunity to smell something different all the time. It's not like, oh, I just like the fall ones. And then they're only smelling the fall ones. Well, guess what? There might be something in the clean line that they really like that they're not going to smell because they went right for the fall bowl, because that's what they really like. So I try to mix them all up, and I go, okay, so I'm going to get these balls. I'm going to start one over here. I'm going to start one in the middle and one over here. And now you've all got your beads. This is the way it's going to work. You could smell all these testers, but you're not allowed to say sniff or smell. You could say take a whiff. You could say, breathe this in. I don't care what you say, but if you say smell or you say sniff and somebody hears you, they are stealing all your beads. And then you'll hear people go, I'm getting all your beads. You always have those competitive people that are in there. And I go, and whoever has the most beads at the end is going to get this little prize. And I always put it in a bag so that they don't know what the prize is. And I'll put my business card in there. I'll put either a scent pack or a scent circle, a travel tin, and maybe a couple of samples in there. Like I'll use one of the body samples or something like that and put that in there. And before we go and sit down and take all the orders, I usually pack up my stuff while they're all looking and then say, okay, I'm getting ready to go in the other room to start taking orders. Who's got the most beads? Because I've already had it where I've totally forgot that I'm taking orders and people are leaving. After they put their order in, they're leaving. So make sure that you do that and you end that game before you go sit down and start taking orders. Okay. And then, award your prizes. So I give, I usually do 3 to 4 prizes. If somebody asks me some phenomenal question, I'll be, you know what? Nobody's ever asked me that question before. I'm going to give you a scent circle for just being unique. Do things like that. And, and I always give my hostess a gift. So I usually give my hostess a counter clean, something like that, either a Scentsy Fresh or a counter clean. So it looks like she's getting a big prize. I put it in a bag. I have her open it in front of everybody. And then I tell them about the product that she got. Okay. So does anybody do something that's completely different from that you'd like to chime in? I mean, we're all here to learn from one another. So this is just my version of how I do parties.
I haven't had a house party yet, so I mean, I told you I'm having the scavenger hunt on Saturday, so that should be interesting. But I don't know.
Okay. I've done bingo parties and stuff like that. And the
Oh, I
same
know.
thing, yeah, you've
Um,
participated in my bingos.
I loved that, Peg. I think it was great. I haven't done a home party in years.
You know, it's
I've
like
been
forever.
talking about like, oh, maybe I want to do them, and this just kind of got me really excited. I'm like, I don't want to do tons of them, but maybe I want to get back out there and do some home parties. Yeah, that was really good. A couple of your tips that I like, my favorite tips were, so if some of you are like, oh, I'm going to start doing some, just some things that I will just say, yes, I agree with, is the one trip in and out. You want to make it look easy. Loved that. I love the idea of taking someone with you. So when I used to do parties, I used to just not like going by myself. So I would always take a friend, but I do love the idea of like, while you're ordering, then your friend can still kind of be out there, you know, picking up, chatting with people.
And I've done it where Terry and I, like, we tag team. So I would go with Terry and help her at her parties, and she would come and help me with my party. So I always say, you know, if you love this, get a friend to join. And that's a great way to do it. So I get the credit from my parties, but she gets the credit from her parties, but we're still there having fun
Yeah.
together and helping each other.
Well, and on that note, it's great if you have new team members. It is the most easiest way to train them is to say, hey, I have a party on Friday night. If you want to join me, you're more than welcome to come. I loved your idea of mixing up the testers. So when I do my parties, I do always categorize them, and I would actually tell people like, if you don't like this kind, do this. But I love that you do that. And now when I do parties in the future, I am going to put them all together because my fragrance choices have changed. Actually, I used to never like floral, so I would have never smelled floral. But I think that's smart because people may not realize that, hey, you may actually kind of like these kind of scents that maybe you didn't a year ago. So those were a couple of the things I wrote down. That was good. I loved it. Thank you.
All right, good, good. So anybody who's done parties, have you done something that's different? How about Ruth, Berlinda, Melissa? You guys have all done parties. How have you done them that may be a little bit different than that?
It's been so long too. I'm like, oh,
I know. It feels like it's been forever since I felt like I was so out of practice. I'm like sitting on my table today and I'm like, oh my God, like it's been so long since how do I set up my table, you know?
I will tell you this, that yes, lots of areas are opening up more. There have been some places, so you have to do what you're comfortable with. I will tell you though, the myth that home parties are not a thing anymore, complete lie. I've been invited to quite a few home parties, even through COVID. You know, they would do it, you know, under 10 people. They were following rules, but as things are opening up, I actually know a girl that works for another company, but she did like 200 and some parties in 2020. So
Yeah.
like home parties are still a thing. It's just, if you choose, you don't have to do them, but if you choose to do them,
Yeah, Diane's
think-
asking where I got the left-right game. That used to be in the workstation. It was under party games. Sarah, do you know if it's still there?
I don't, but I had sent you a message to see if you wanted to upload all those documents into the leader page, and then everyone could just put them on their own team pages, if that
Sure.
would work. Okay.
Yeah,
That way
'cause
you didn't have to put them in.
this is
Or,
actually
I mean,
a really nice document. I mean,
If everyone,
obviously the Scentsy story really needs some updating.
I mean, you can put it, if you want to just put it on the Millionaire Minds page, you can as well, but I just thought then, you know, it's in one.
Yeah, I have to find out how to scan it because I don't know if I still have it electronically. I've
Okay.
been using the same one forever, but
Is
yeah,
your Peg?
Yeah.
Is your printer, is it Bluetooth? Is it a Bluetooth printer?
no, I'm not that advanced, but I do know how to scan, and you know,
You
on
should
my
be able to
phone.
scan it right on. Yeah,
And-
you should be able to scan right to.
Yeah, so I do know how to do that. So I might, you know, I mean, you guys are going to get a jacked up copy of it, but you know,
Can I ask you a question?
sure.
Okay, so I never did a party, but I just have a couple questions that might seem silly.
Nope.
So when you go to someone's home, do you bring your own table and like a I don't know, like electric cords or stuff like
Well,
that? Like,
I usually talk to my hostess beforehand because lots of times, like, they'll want me to do it on their dining room table or something. I personally have my setup that it's easier, I think, sometimes when you're familiar with the size of your table and you've got your tablecloth and you're not going there kind of empty. I always bring a nice long extension cord, like I have this. So I have this power strip that has a really long cord on it. So I always bring this with me because you never know where their electric's going to be, how many sockets they're going to have available. So go and be as prepared as you can. So, I mean, as far as your own list of things to have, I always say have a tablecloth, have a table, something that's lightweight and easy to carry so you don't look like a nut trying to carry it in. Keep it to 2 trips. Your first trip might be your table and, like your bag of your books and stuff. I use, and I know there's some people I think on here who do like Initials Inc. and some who do 31. I love the big tote bags, and I get all my stuff in like one of those open tote bags, and I always bring a tablecloth that goes to the floor so I could shove all my junk under there, and it looks nice. When you go, make sure that you have extra order forms with you. Make sure you have pens with you. And again, I do my little beads in this. I have like the whole matching set of 31. I actually bartered Scentsy with somebody for 31 stuff. Not that I'm plugging 31, but this is like their little tote bag. So I always have a bunch of pens with me because you lose some every place you go. So I always have a bunch of pens with me, and I have a matching bag like this that holds all of these. So it looks nice and organized. When I walk in, I have these in lime green and purple. I put Scentsy stickers all over them. I put the stuff in sleeves. So once a season, I make up new flyers. I keep them and I'll add the new buddies and stuff like that in there. But you can simply use the catalog, and I do it like this so that I don't lose them. And if they want a catalog, I'll give them a catalog to take with them.
one more question.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. So now you're at the end of the party. So you go in the other room and you say, I'm going to take orders if anyone would like to place an order with me or whatever. How do you do the financial part of it? Like, so say I order from you, but I want to pay with my credit card. Like, do you bring your laptop or do you order online and
I
do
will
everything?
write their numbers down on the order form sometimes. Some people
Mhm.
are funny about that. So I'll let them pay me via Venmo or PayPal or whatever electronic, methods that I have. There are times that I brought my laptop, but I always seem to have connection issues when I do that. So I take the orders. Every single person that I take an order from, I ask them if they'd like to book a party.
Okay.
Make sure that every single person, as you take the order, you say, okay, thank you so much. Now, are you interested in booking a party? I've got some dates open. I don't know. Let me think about it. Well, if you book a party tonight, you get to take home one of the party bags, and, whoever the hostess is, and Caitlin will get credit, for you booking, and you'll earn the Hostess Rewards. Plus she'll get a half price item at your party. So it's a little bit of pressure, but it's not, if somebody goes, no, that's not, okay, all right, that's fine. But, have you ever thought about doing this? It's really lots of fun. And there's some people go, no, I can't do that. I go, okay, well, just keep that in mind. It's a great way to make a little extra money, earn some trips, have some fun. I mean, come on, I get to do this. This is hardly work. So every single person that I take an order from, I work it in there, but I try to do it not pressury, just kind of like fun. Like it's my obligation to ask you,
I will say that in all of the years, back in the day when we started this, like we had to do home parties. There was always a difference between if someone was struggling with booking parties at their parties, or they were struggling with people joining their team from parties. When we would sit, is everything okay?
Yeah, the dog just jumped on the counter.
Oh.
Sorry, I was like,
when we would collaborate and say, okay, what do you do? What do you do? What did the number one difference was personally asking each one of those people. You can stand up and put it in your spiel, but there is something about, and this isn't just home parties, but there's something about personally asking them to either host the party, Have you ever thought of doing
Wow,
what
you're
I'm doing?
still up, little girl?
Something that you can do if it seems scary, because especially if you are new, or maybe you haven't been one to ask because you don't want to be that pushy person. First of all, I'm just going to say this with that. If you are feeling that way, that's a mindset thing. But what you can do is put a sign up at your party that says, if I don't tell you about, or if I don't ask you to book your own party or tell you about consultant perks, you get whatever free.
A free scent circle, or yeah.
So then it's taking pressure, like they're waiting for you to ask, because if you don't ask, then they get something for free. So they're like, is she going to ask me? Is she going to ask me?
Right.
And then you don't feel as bad about asking them, because you're like, I have this sign, like you've already warned them that, hey, I'm going to give this to you if I don't ask. So hopefully that helps. If you're not comfortable or you don't religiously do it every single time, put that sign up there, because it will completely change your business. Even if you're doing this through bag parties, you can do it through follow-up. If you are doing online parties, if you're just partying in your VIP, if right now you are struggling with no one wants to host a party, whatever kind that may be, or people aren't joining your team, they're not taking me up on this offer, I want you to look and say, okay, am I personally inviting people in to host or join? It'll make a huge difference. But it is scary sometimes in the beginning. And if it is, try that little saying. And I mean, you can make a, little picture on your, like a post, and put that in your parties if you're doing online. But there is definitely, I'm glad you
You can
brought that
put
up.
it if you're decide to do the books. You could even make a sticker if you're handing out the brochures, put a sticker on there. If I don't ask you to host a party or join my team, you'll get a free gift when you place your order.
Yeah.
I always say when you place your order, because that's my opportunity to ask them. I don't want people coming up to me saying, you didn't ask me to join your team. Well, you didn't order. And it's funny because the people say all the time, they're like, so when you go to a party, 7 out of 10 people, you expect 7 out of 10 people to order. When I go to a party, if there's 10 people there, I expect 10 people to order. Don't come to my party and walk out without ordering something. No. I expect all 10 of you to order.
Can I add one thing?
Wait a minute.
Not that I've ever done parties, but Anne Marie, back to your question about payments. The one thing I did was I have Square now, where you can actually take credit cards, and it's a little thing that you can attach to your phone, where you can swipe it, or you can manually enter their numbers for payments. And it's free. It doesn't cost anything. And it's that big.
I'm
So-
I have PayPal.
I'm like Venmo wasn't even a thing the last time we were doing home parties. I'm so excited.
I know,
I
but
do that with
actually have-
PayPal.
I also have a thing on my phone called a Popple. I think I've talked about it with you guys before.
Yeah.
If you haven't heard of it, look it up. It's POPL, and it's this actually. Where's my phone? It is. It's this little gadget that sticks on the back of your phone. It looks almost like a pop socket, but it's literally flat. You can see it's flat. Whoops. See how flat that is? And it's actually an app. I think you can get them for like $25. They have keychains now. They have all different kinds of things. But when you load this app up, it gives all of your information on there. So when I pull up my Popple, I can literally have them tap my phone, and it will give them all my information. So all my payment information is right there. I'm waiting for mine to open. So when they tap my phone, it starts out, and look, it gives them my little picture there. And then it gives them all of my websites, which these aren't pulling up right now because I'm off the Wi-Fi, but you could, they're grayed out, but I have my Facebook in there, my Venmo in there. So literally I say, do you have any electronic forms of payment? I take Venmo, I take Cash App, I take PayPal. Oh, okay, give me your phone. And I have them tap here. It'll open right to it. I give them their total, have them pay me. And then I mark right on their receipt, paid via Venmo or paid via PayPal. So that's actually a really valuable tool, especially if you're somebody who wants to do vendor events.
So one more question for you. So as they're coming in, I know I'm probably asking like basic questions, but
That's okay.
love
That's what this is about.
so Mary comes in and orders something from me. I'm going to write her up write it down on the form. Then I can just automatically, like nowadays, you can just go on your phone. So I can just put her order in as we're speaking.
Yep.
And then she can just pay me. I can pay out and she can Venmo me. Is that what we're talking about? Like doing something like that?
Yeah, however
Okay.
you want to do it. If you take credit card information, like you can write their credit card information in and then put those orders in later when you get home?
I,
Or she
I,
could do like Patty said, right? Like use that, swipe that thing on the phone and make the payment like that.
Make the
yeah,
payment
so
right
there's
away.
there's no right or wrong answer to it personally. I think that it's, and if someone else has done it the other way, then maybe you would disagree, and then you can share experience. So yes, what I do is I write it up on the order form, take their payment, whether it's credit card, whatever. I don't really write them down anymore. And then when I get home is when I still put all the orders in. You could do it right there online, but again, we want to make it less
wanna be in
time.
and
You
out.
want to be there the least amount of time, and you want to make it look easy.
And I
But I
do,
think it
as
depends,
I'm
I think
taking
it
the orders,
depends on the crowd too, because one of our neighbors, she is, I don't know, 22, 23. And like before, she's now one of our team members, but before she joined the team, like when they would go to their Scentsy parties, they're like, we're not waiting. They would just go straight to the person's website. So, you would have their party set up before you even go. And they're all ordering on their own from their phone. So, I mean, honestly, it's been so long since we've partied, like this could be kind of a whole new experience. But I mean, some people may just sit there and we say, hey, go to kcscents.com and click on Peg's party. And as I go through here, you can put stuff in your cart and boom, at the end of it, you can, I mean, you're still going to have to get their subtotal, if you want to give out host rewards that night. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be fun.
Well,
I'm excited.
that's what happened with the party that I'm having now. 3 people just ordered. They just ordered. I was like, they
and
didn't
I
wait for the party, they're ordering.
at a party and somebody's placing an order and I'm collecting the orders, I keep a little slip on the side and I'll just write down, that the whatever the PRV is going to be, so that you can kind of get a general idea of what the Hostess Rewards. I'll be like, oh, look at this, already you've gotten, and with the person, as I'm writing it down, once we hit $200, I go, woohoo, you've already earned $20 free and a half price item. When it gets to 350, woohoo, now you've earned, and I'll do that throughout the party, so that the other people are seeing what she's earning free too.
So Anne Marie, did we answer your question or confuse you more?
No, absolutely. You did. Yes.
Good.
Because that's always something that I would be most concerned about. Because I think of having like all my friends that are on my page, I was like, why don't you just come over like when the pandemic starts to slow down, if it ever does. But like we'll come out back, we'll have a couple drinks and show you some fancy stuff. But then because I always do like to do the bulk orders, you know what I mean? So like I try to combine everyone's orders, or even try to do like a bundle and save if somebody wants, this and that. So then I always worry about payments. But so far I've been ordering things. And then people are great with payment. Like I order everything. And then when I break it all down, I'll be like, oh, you owe me like $43. And then they'll Venmo, so.
So in this case, what you could do is so you're at a home party, Peg is going to come in. She's going to order her 6-pack of bars, $32.55. She's going to give you your credit card. You're going to swipe it, keep her order form, give her a receipt. She's going to go. Then Patty's going to come in. She's going to order her 6-pack. So then at the end of it, you've got your 10 order forms. Everyone's paid. I honestly tell my hosts, I'm like, we are closing your party that night. That's just how I coach them, is to do that. Ruth, I don't mean to stop right now, but your hair looks gorgeous and it's been distracting me all night. Like I've just been meaning to tell you that. Anyways, so sorry guys, I chase a lot of squirrels, but so then at the end, you can either add everything up and you can tell your host then, hey, your party was, $400, you're going to get 40 and free and you're half price, or you can always take it home and do that. But yeah, you can definitely collect the orders, take the payment, and then put the orders in when you get home.
Yeah, and I generally try and give them like a day or two after the party before I'll close it. Like I'll tell them how much they've earned there and close it. And I will tell you one other thing too that I do. I've already had hostesses that have had $1,000 parties, and always talk to them about the join opportunity, how they can join for free with make sure that you talk about the hostess credits. And if the party goes over $500, separate it into 2 parties. Usually it's like once we get around $800 is when I separate it, because $500 you're getting 3 half price items, and that doesn't jump again until you get to 1,000. Where if they get to, say $850, you're getting 2 more half price items with a $350 party. and you're getting 15% free. So, I mean, I try and get it separated into two parties. So if you get something that's really big, it maximize the hostess credits for them. Because that also, then they think you're a hero too, because you're getting them extra, half price stuff.
So you would set it up the same way with their name and everything, just a
Party
separate,
one and
just
party
a
two.
set.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not to backtrack, but earlier you were saying when you start talking about how you would put a bag behind the table for them, are there certain things that you would put in there for the hostess, or if somebody wanted to join right then and there for it, or are you just?
For joining, I don't. For joining, like I usually make a big fanfare and say, this person's joining. So, okay, wait, we're going to put these orders in under hers, but everybody save their orders after that. We're going to get them and we're going to put them under her and have it her launch party. I've only had that happen to me one time, but I made a
Right.
big, huge deal out of it. It was like the hostess's sister decided to join and it was like,
Oh,
woo,
okay.
big deal about it. And I was like, okay, so we'll put these in so that you get your hostess rewards. And I have done it where I've given the credit to them too. I'm
Right.
going to make this party her launch party.
Right.
So I mean, it all depends on how you want to do it, but I always give the hostess some kind of a counter clean or a Scentsy Fresh, because it looks more like giving them a scent circle or giving them a scent pack or a bar of wax looks like a small gift. When you're giving them something that's of substance, it
Right.
looks like, you know what I mean? I've done it where I've given Scentsy soak.
Well,
I
and
love those things.
I always look at it, so when we're giving things away, and again, like if you choose that, hey, I'm going to start doing home parties, you could say, okay, in the month of May, like all of my hosts are going to get XYZ, and then use your free and half price to get those things. So for me, I'm like, well, even if I have to give away a really big, like, maybe it's their favorite warmer and it's $20. I'm like, okay, it costs me $20 to have an average. So I would spend $20 to go to an event to sell 500, get 10 plus new customers. So I always look at it that way, and I would much rather go to a party for a couple hours than all day, So the other thing is, and there are lots of ideas with this, if again, asking about getting bookings from your parties are difficult for you, play booking games. There are a million kinds of booking games out there that you can play, but there's lots of different ways to do it. But it entices your host. She's pushing her friends to book the parties, so you're not having to. So,
well, you know what I've done? I've
that's
done
like
it,
a whole
and this is
nother
the good one.
night,
But this is, some people are a little bit funny about doing this one, but I have these glittery boxes that are like nesting boxes, and they fit inside one another. So I will get the 3 boxes and I'll put them on top of one another, and in each one of them, it will have a slip of paper, and one of them will say, you've earned a half price mini warmer. The other 2 will say, congratulations, you've booked the party and you're going to earn free and half price stuff, at your party. Plus you go home with a gift, like whatever gift I decide to give them that night. But what I've done is I've gotten those booking boxes and I go, okay, so I have 3 boxes here. Who wants a box? And you wait and I go, okay, nobody's asking for a box. Okay, you're my hostess. Give these 3 boxes to somebody here. And then have them hold on to the boxes while you're talking and say, okay, you're not allowed to open the boxes. And I go, okay, you're all wondering what those boxes are. One of those boxes has a mini warmer in it or a half price mini warmer or whatever you say, you tell them whatever the prize is that's in there. Usually it's something that's free, so that's what's in one of the other boxes. The other 2 boxes have booking parties in them. Now, if you don't want to book a party, you can give that box to somebody else. If you want to book a party, hold on to it. And if they win whatever the free item is, and they said they wanted to book a party, and I go, okay, well, you were on the free item, but you said you were going to book a party anyway, so let's book your party. Very rarely have I had people give that box back without somebody else taking that box, because everybody wants to know if they won the prize. People are willing to gamble and take that chance. So that's another way to do it. Some people don't like doing that. The first time I did it, I remember feeling so intimidated because I felt like I was really pressuring people and it felt very awkward the first time. But it's all what you make it, and it's all how you make it fun. I mean, I've been to parties where people were fighting over the box. Well, you only have 3 of them? Well, what happens if I want to book a party? And then somebody's like, all right, well, I didn't get a box, but I'll book a party anyway. And then I've had other parties where everybody's like, well, I don't want the box here. You take the box. So it depends on the party. You feel it, you see how you feel with it. But that's one of the ways that's sort of a guaranteed booking a party. You know, you're taking the opportunity to give something away, but that's one of the other opportunities.
I remember doing, I had a calendar on my lap when they was coming up to placing the order. And then after I asked them, and then I turn it around, you know, so they could see the dates. And I had them blacked out with these little sticker or Post-it notes. And when you peel it off after, because I always wanted to do it within 7 to 10 days, because the excitement is still there.
Right.
You don't want to go more than, than 2 weeks out. So when they picked up their little sticker, it was their prize that I was going to bring to them, instead of thinking about, what to give them or what to have, just, whatever you have on hand. Like you was talking about the counter clean, and you just put it on the back of that note. And that's what I'm going to bring for her, the hostess gift.
Right.
For hosting, for saying that, you're booking a party. So I remember doing that one time.
Yeah, that's a good one too. So then it's, you got the dates right there, and you're putting that date right down. I mean,
Right,
always,
'cause I'm,
always when you're planning,
I'm giving them,
get that date
I'm
down.
giving them a choice, this date or this date.
Right.
Instead of you telling me, what date, you want. Well, these are the dates that I have available, what's best for you.
Yeah.
And then, they'll, pick their date and then on the back, and then I will save it and, put it on their counter clean or washer with or whatever. But it's been so long ago that I do remember, making those little sticky notes. And it did book parties, and it was urgency. I got to book this party. I got to make this car payment, whatever it was.
Yeah.
It was, I just gave them the dates.
You have to be able to read your crowd too. I mean,
Right.
if you're at a party and you're talking about the join opportunity, or you're talking about hosting a party and you're getting crickets and everybody's not paying attention to it. I mean, I've been to a party where literally these girls were getting together to drink and party, and they didn't give a shit what I said about Scentsy. They were going to order their stuff later. They kept getting up and going outside and smoking. And it's really awkward when you're trying to present. I mean, this party, I had 14 people at this party, and literally 2 ladies sat there and listened to me the whole time, to the point where like the rest of them just kept getting up, leaving the room, go getting something to eat, go having a cigarette. I literally turned my back like this and just talked to those 2 ladies, because it was, and then it's awkward for you. It's uncomfortable. But I've also had the same group of ladies who have done repeat parties over and over. So literally I would come, give them the catalogs, let them smell the testers. They know the spiel. It would be like, all right, you're having the party this week, this month, I'm having the party next month, and I'll have the party after that. And that was their excuse to get together once a month and all restock on their Scentsy. So I didn't have to go through the whole spiel. I'd go there, I'd set up my display, they'd see some of the stuff, I'd tell them about anything that was new, we'd play games, they'd eat, they'd drink, they'd place their orders, I'd go home. I mean, I love those parties, because literally I sat and drank with them. I was like, this is great. Anne-Marie, they're your kind of parties, right? Yeah. Just set up the table.
They are. I would bring Patty with me.
I was just gonna say, if you have that backyard party, I better be invited. I'll even order something
I can
from
bring
you.
the wine. I make homemade wine.
There you go. Missy's gonna bring
Come on over. Come on over. What happens at the party stays at the party, though.
unless you videotape.
That's right. That's right. Nope. No videotape.
Okay,
You don't know,
careful, we're
you don't know what
recording
your
still.
director might do. Remember, I'm from a time way before social media.
Sarah, we have to get you on one of Anne-Marie and her sister Michelle. They go live and
Oh, yeah, I know. I need to see this. I've heard about this.
they are hysterical.
They are the
feed off of one
best.
another. It is so funny. It's just a riot. Absolutely.
I turned it on when Peg was in Wildwood with us, and it was everybody at the
dying
table.
laughing. I'm
We
like,
were
I wanna go hang
cracking
out with
up.
them. And she's like, and if you join, it's $20. And her sister Michelle goes, $20, really? Come on, you got $20. You know what I mean? It's like they feed off of one another, and it's
Is
just
this on Facebook Live? Where do I go so I get notified of this?
I'll send you the invite.
Okay.
yeah, it's really funny. Hey, Anne-Marie, did you hear that one of my customers messaged me and asked me if I knew you and Michelle? She went to
That's
nursing
what
school with
That was
Michelle.
Patty was telling me.
Yeah, Vicky.
Because I think she's on my page, right?
I don't know if she's Vicky Bratt. She is on Facebook.
Oh, I know Vicky.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
so sweet.
That was so funny. And I was like, it's okay to buy from them. They're on the team. It's okay.
Yeah, her and Michelle went to nursing school together.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's
she's
so
my
nice,
person,
Vicky.
guys. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, all right. So if anybody, if we're done with questions, this went a little longer than we expected it to, but I think it was good content and we had some good conversations. So,
Mhm.
I hope
I
you guys
loved
learned
it. Thank
something.
you,
I hope
thank
this
you
helps you
so
feel more
much,
comfortable.
That was great.
I loved it too. Thank you so much because like
You're
my
so
whole
welcome.
business started at COVID. So
Right.
I've never, ever did this. So
Well,
this
it's
is a
funny because
whole
Patty
new
and I were
avenue.
talking and I said, yeah, because most of our team is new. And then I looked at the numbers and I'm like, yeah, like 140 of you are new. So I
Mhm.
figured you might have something to learn, I mean,
Do you think maybe one day you can talk about how you do bingo?
yeah, sure.
Oh,
I actually have, if you go out to my YouTube channel, I think the link is probably on the team pages. If not, I'll put the link out there. There is actually a sample
Okay.
party of a bingo party that was actually, it was a launch party for a new consultant. And I
Okay.
taped it on, we did it on Zoom. And I think I also taped my scavenger hunt.
Okay.
So
Now,
I
what if
think
I were to have like a party where I would
Oh,
have
you
a bingo
guys-
party outside, like with public people, like real live people? Like how would I go about figuring all that out and stuff? You know what I mean?
the
Work
same-
with
you-
me. I can
So
help you with
I've
that.
done,
Yeah.
oh yeah, okay,
Okay.
so Patty's done, I
Okay.
used to do bingo parties at home too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Love it, so much fun.
I love that idea. Awesome. Yeah.
Home bingo parties, like they legit get the, I'll look it up. Let me find all my stuff. We probably have it posted somewhere from forever ago when we did it, but I've got links to like, they get Amazon or not Amazon, but they get bingo cards, they get their daubers, they get their whole thing. So
Yeah, and you can
If
order.
you have a link for that scavenger hunt, that could help me because I have.
Yeah,
Anne Marie, I
have
think
some
I have like
Saturday.
500 bingo cards, like disposable ones. I'll have to
Yeah.
look, and next time I see you, I'll give them to you.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, that could be a lot of
Oh,
fun. I
you
mean,
can't hear me.
you just
oh,
talk
that
about
would be,
products
that
and-
would be perfect for your patio party. Like come
Yes,
play bingo, that'd be so much fun.
perfect. Thank you, Patty, too, for the bingo
You'll
card
have to
today.
drink.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey,
BYOB.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Peg, thank you. Thank you. It was good to
All
see
right.
all your faces.
Thank you, Peg.
tonight.
Thank you, everyone.
Have
If
a
you have
good-
any questions after this, please don't hesitate to hit up me or one of your directors.
Okay.
Have a good night. Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.